Welcome to this new Flight Simulator update movie. I think everybody will be surprised, right? Because yesterday during, I would say, one of the, I think it was the keynote, at one of the conferences, or at the conference in Houston, there was a nice surprise for us, right? It was the Ford 480 Trimotor, and that's, I would say, a new aircraft, right? It's the, I'd say, latest legend which is available. But the good thing is that it's for free. So keep in mind that it's only for free up till the end of this month, right? So starting from the 1st of July, you need to pay money for it. But currently it's free. So really cool. So the aircraft is developed by Microsoft in cooperation with Aeroplane Heaven. Well, likely Aeroplane Heaven did the most things. And it comes with 5 liveries, right? The Black Fort, the Emerald Harbor, the New Guinea, the Spanish Republic, and the World Tour. It has 3 landing gear configurations available, the wheeled, the floats, and the skis. And as mentioned, right, it's free. So to get it, you can go to the marketplace and you can press get and download, and then you will of course get it for free because it will start downloading stuff, and then you can, I would say, fly this nice aircraft. Right here you can see some examples, some screenshots. But let's wait till it's being downloaded, right? That will take some time, so I'll pause the recording for now, and then we'll continue the recording once it has been installed. So the aircraft has been installed, and as you can see, indeed 5 liveries, right? The New Guinea, the Black Fort, the Emerald Harbor, the Spanish Republic, and the last one, the World Traveler. As mentioned, right, there should be, I would say, multiple options which you can choose to, I would say, have different, I would say, not gears or landing gears. So what you need to do that is, if you scroll down, you can find the floats, but also the skis, right? So by default, I would say the first one is the normal gear, but the other ones are also available. So that's really cool, right? So if you like to, let's say, for example, depart from the Antarctica or something, or the Antarctics, then you might want to select that one. So if we look at the weight and balance, right, we can see the normal things, right? 3 fuel compartments, left, right, and center. We can define the payload for the pilot, the co-pilot, and several seats. And we can change the center of gravity over here. And there we've got the failures, including oil system, oil leak, fuel pump, fire, complete failure. Oil system, oil leak, fuel pump, fire, and other stuff, right? So that's cool. Also, I would say specific engine issues which are over there. So that's cool. So let's select an airport, right, which we're gonna depart from, and then I would say I'm gonna, once I did that, right, I'm gonna pause the recording again, and then we're gonna have a look at how we can, or how the aircraft looks like. So I'm gonna select this parking spot, and then I'm gonna press fly, and then I'm gonna pause the recording because the first time you select an aircraft which has just been installed, it needs to render, and in most cases that takes, I would say, several minutes. And I don't want you to watch at my screen, I would say, because it's useless, right? So see you back in a few seconds. Or, hey, that was really smart. That was really quick, right? So here we go. So this is the aircraft, right? So if we go outside, this is how it looks like. We're going to the trees. This is the outside, right? And if you look at how it's modeled, right, it's pretty nice, also pretty detailed, as you can see. So 2 pilots already, I would say, ready for takeoff, right? Also, if you look at the, I would say, the engine itself, right, if we're coming closer, you can see that these are, I would say, really detailed, some nice details over here. Same thing is for the engine on the right side, right, and on the left side. So both, I would say, 3 engines in total, which is cool. That's also why it's called a Trimotor, right? 3 engines. Then here we've got some, I would say, not sure where it's used for. It looks like it's to control the flaps, or maybe it's like that. I'm not sure. So if we look at the wings themselves, right? The wings themselves also really detailed. You can see all the details over here, all the pops, say all the signs over here. In the center we see some other signs, as you can see, or likely this is the view, right, to review the aircraft. The flaps, of course, and then it's, I would say, it's, whoa, luckily we didn't crash, right, because it's almost in, I would say, some house. Well, almost, it is in a house. So that's cool. So trying to control the camera, which is always, let's say, hard, right? Because it's so crazy fast. From the outside, we can also look at the interior, right? So you can see several seats over there, and we can see some, I would say, seats in the front. And if we go closer, we can see that also from the interior, they've spent some time on this. I'd say also the usage, etc. I would say lighting has been there, so that's cool. If we go to the back, I'm not sure if they modeled the toilet, but let's have a look. No. Well, else it's a really empty toilet, but that's also, I would say, being there, right? So, and then in the front, of course, we can see the cockpit, right? So the cockpit where the pilots are already, I would say, seated. So let's have a look at that one. Can we open the door? Some aircraft you can do that. No, but however, there are some, I would say, instruments where people can see, okay, how what's the speed, right, and how I would say what's the altitude currently. So that looks pretty cool also. If we go down, then we're coming to the gears, right? That's something which we didn't look at yet. And here you can see also the details on the engines, but also the wear on the gears. So that's also modeled. And if we look at the bottom, also you can see some usage over here. Some nice details. So pretty cool. Then if we go inside the cockpit, we can also see that it has been, I would say, modeled pretty nicely, right? You can see it's a really small one compared to, I would say, the modern aircrafts. So in front of us, we've got the altimeter reads, right? Which shows us the, I would say, the altitude which we're flying at. We can see the speed. We can see the fuel tanks, right? The left one and the right one, and the reserve one, which is likely the centered one. Then we've got the cockpit, or compass, sorry, down the volts, the time, some oil pressure, the climbing rate, and some other nice buttons, as you can see. These are mostly the lightning switches, right, which are, I would say, as you can already expect, used to switch on and off the lights, including the cabin lights, which you can switch on and off. And here we've got the engine solenoid switches, which are mainly used for the engine, right? If we scroll down, we can hide the yoke, which is always nice, because here we can find the mixture, right? The mixture is to make sure that the engine, I would say, is operating at an optimal speed and also is using less fuel. That's where you can use the mixture for. We can see the master ignition here, and then the left and right magnetos, as well as the center magneto. So here is the, I would say, part which you need to use when using the, I would say, when starting the engines. Then over here we've got the water rudder, and that's, I would say, nice in an aircraft which doesn't have, I would say, a rudder, but probably there's an idea behind it. There's the brake leveler. And then on the other side of the cockpit, that's where you can see the radio, right? So you can see the active and standby frequency. You can see the ADF, which can be changed using these nice buttons over here. And then if we also hide the yoke here, let's see if we can do that. Yes, we can do that. We can change the frequency using these nice buttons for the navigation, right? So this one is for COM. And this one is for navigation. As you can see, it only has one navigation radio and one communication radio. However, you can still switch between frequencies. Besides that, do we have some other cool things which we can look at? Yeah, this is, I would say, always nice, right? So what they did is they integrated some of the, I would say, gauges also to the, or inside the engine, right? It's a right engine, as you can see. So here you can see the temperature, the oil pressure, and the RPMs. And likely if you start the engines, then it will, let's say, start doing nice things. Here we've got the fuel primer, right? The fuel primer left or right is likely you need to use it. And then we've got the engine primer pump. And here we've got the fuel selector on the bottom. Do we miss left starter, center starter, and right starter? Again, the engine part, which we already looked at. So nicely modeled, looks really cool. Looking forward to fly with it. Now let's see what's included from the checklist part. Well, if we open the checklist part, you can see that the checklist, I would say, is pretty extensive, right? It contains all kind of, I would say, buttons, and if you click on them, you are also navigated to the, I would say, correct instrument or correct, I would say, yeah, instruments likely the best wording, right? Which shows you, okay, hey, what do you need to do, right? Parking brake set, generator off, and then battery on, right? And if you switch the battery on, you can see all kind of gauges, so it's being activated. So pretty cool. So check 12 volt, right? If that's the case, then check the fuel quantity, which you can see over here. And that's it, and then you can continue on and on and on, of course, until you start the engines. So let's go outside, right? Let's do, do the trick, right, using the Control E key. Let's see if that works. In some cases it doesn't work from the outside, so we need to go inside and does it do really anything? I don't think so. So likely the Control E key is not mapped. So keep an eye on, let's say, one of the future videos where we will start the engines, because starting the engines will also look really cool, right? You can see, I would say, some steam or some exhaustion coming from it. So that's really nice. So here ends the video where we looked at this nice surprise from Asobo and Microsoft, where they offered a free aircraft until the end of this month, right? Keep that in mind, because from the 1st of July you need to pay for this one, which you can, I would say, fly with in Flight Simulator 2020. So enjoy flying this aircraft. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, then consider to the like button. If you've got questions or comments, then feel free to post them in the comment box below. And if you want to stay up to date about new videos I'm posting, then make sure that you're subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.